What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review of Persona 5, A Magical Valentine's Day OVA review. I know I'm extremely late on this, but what the fuck am I not when it comes to Persona 5, the animation, when it comes after the show stopped airing, we just had 3 OVAs. Anyway, as the title says, I will only be talking about the Futaba sex release. That will be the main chunk of the review. I will talk about a couple of the other ones, because I did watch a few of the other ones, but I pretty much just stuck to Futaba. I also recorded my reaction, which will probably drop a little bit after my review drops, and as well as my reaction to her PV, or the little teaser they dropped with Futaba and Haru a while back. I meant to drop, but then when I found the video, but I didn't, and because I thought the video got deleted from where it was, I was like, no point in me reviewing. Then I find that it's still up there on the Persona 6 account, but I think they put the video up on listing. I found the link to it, so I'll probably upload that one first, and then the reaction, and yeah. So anyway, so you guys want to check those out. Those will be coming out probably sometime tomorrow. Anyway, so without further ado, first off, let me just quickly talk about this. My god, did I love this OVA. There was some great stuff I'll mention before. I'll talk a little bit more about some of the other stuff that in the OVA. And one thing I want to talk about, I like how A1, before I just drop right into Futaba, I did like, and also as you can tell, because I was talking about this girl, I ended up stealing footage again from P5, from P5D, so which is always, I'll leave a link to the real world. I found the footage of the iCards above. Anyway, I like how this whole OVA, at least with the exception of one and a half actually, it's all first person POVs of Akira, where you're inside where Akira is, and which I swear it did operate because they were like, we know why y'all are watching this. We know why you're here, you horny motherfuckers, so allow us to let you get up close and personal with your girls. Not that I'm complaining, I appreciate, but I was just like, Anyway, enough of me rambling. Let's just dive in to me gushing for a good solid maybe 10 minutes of Futaba. Anyway, let us begin. So we start this OVA off. We got Futaba. We got Akira. What I actually liked about the OVA is that they didn't just like, okay, let's just do the game and just throw it here. I was like, honestly, I'd honestly say this is actually a lot better than how it was in the game. Because you guys remember in the game, we were here in Sojiro's place. And we were just in the cafe, and we were just you reach out to the girls and just go from there. Here we're actually in different locations from the girls, like like Hifumi was in like an indoor pool. Akira, not Akira. An was in a Ferris wheel, and Futaba we had them ice skate, which was oh my god, I loved every fucking second of this. So anyway. So Futaba's kind of crashing into Akira. I'm like, god, that's kind of fucking cute. So he's like, oh, it's okay. What you gotta say? One thing I love about this OP, the voice acting from the Japanese. Like, I actually like, if there's like, I'm not a big fan of the Persona 5 Japanese voice actors. I mean, they're good. They do their job well, but I will prefer the dub. But my god, Futaba's Japanese voice actress is fucking perfect, man. Like, I still like Erika a little bit more, which I'll talk more about why I like Erika actually a little bit more than her Japanese one in a second around the end of the video. But I gotta say, she did an amazing job here. My god, she just... I just love it. She did such a great job with time, just making her even more cute. I love her. Anyway, so she's like, it's okay, she's obviously blushing. She's like, oh, I'm bad at moving my body, so I'm glad you were just there in the nick of time. And my god, after she says it, she puts her glasses up a little bit, and just the facial expressions in this OVA, man. On God, man, they were something else, man. I loved every time she was on screen, and she was like, oh, and she's like blushing hardcore. Like, when you watch like the other girls, like Odd, Makoto, you feel me? They do a decent job at hiding their blood. Like, yeah, they're blushing, but they do a decent job containing themselves. Futaba, you can read this woman like a hentai game strategy guide. The reason I say hentai game strategy guide because I actually recently finished up Steins Gate, which was an amazing anime. If you have not seen Steins Gate, definitely check it out. And if you've watched Steins Gate, you know why I say hentai game strategy guide. Oh my god, Daru is something else, man. Anyway, so she has this, oh my god, her face here was just fantastic, and she's like, and then she tries to run away from Akira, and she's like, next time for sure, she's about to trip over again, and our boy Akira comes in with the save. So then she looks over at Kira and she's like, thanks. And then she's blushing hardcore again and brings her hands together. I'm like, oh, it's so fucking cute. I already know what the thumbnail is gonna look like. Oh, I can't get enough of Futaba. She's so fucking adorable. Oh, I love it. So she's like, oh, I'm just not good at sports, aren't I? So then she tries to play it off like adorable. And she's like, wait, why have my glasses got cloudy? Why? So then she tries to clean them off, and then she's like, good. Then she tries to play it off normally, cool, like she's hoeing Kilma. So she's like, oh man, I'm surprised by all the places I've had to. I've requested you to come with me along, and I've experienced a lot. I'm surprised by how many unusual places I've requested for you to come with me with, and when you're with me, I've experienced a lot of things for these resources, so it's not so boring, Yeah. And then she says she's tired, so then we jump cut over to them over by this bench area where they're just kind of just sitting there. Which actually, one thing I gotta talk about this OVA, one problem I do have, I gotta say, the animation was pretty lazy. I won't lie, because a lot of the time they have Akira blink. And when they blink, that usually means Kira's suddenly in a different location instead of A1, or I guess actually, apparently that A1 didn't do these. Actually, it's another studio by the name of Cloverworks, I believe. Because I checked out the Mal profile, because I checked it out on Mal, and it says the studio is in the A1 Pictures, which is the studio that did the main Persona 5 anime, the main P5 anime. Instead, it's this other studio called Cloverworks 2, which I don't know if it's a subsidiary of A1 or just another name A1 goes by, or whatever the case may be, because it looks the exact same than the ad. But whatever the case may be, or they guess they just outsourced it to that studio. Whatever the case may be, this was not done by A1, even though it looks like it does. But whatever the case may be, the animation was pretty lazy, and if there is one problem I could say with this OVA, it was that the animation was pretty lazy. But they did not slack on my girl Futaba. They put the whole budget into her scenes. Because my God, it was fantastic. She's like so animated and everything, and oh my God, oh, she's so cute. Oh man, I love Futaba. Oh, she's so adorable. Y'all know how. Do you remember Despicable Me 1 where what's her name was like, it's so fluffy, I'm gonna die? That's me with Futaba while I'm watching this OVA. Literally, I had a massive smile on my face on this whole thing. Anyway, so back to the OVA. So on this bench, Futaba's like tapping her fingers against each other, and she's like back in her usual outfit. And which by the way, when we look at Akira, because we're seeing this all from, like I mentioned before, this is all first-person perspective, so we're staring right pretty much at Futaba's thighs essentially, while she has her fingers together. She clenches them and then hands her the chocolate, which is the same as it was the game with the Morgana had and everything. So, and that's consistent with all of them. The chocolate was like about the same. I have the only girl that actually looked back and rewatched the Valentine special of recently was Futaba's. So anyway, she's like, here, it's a chocolate, it's cliche, isn't it, and then from there she goes on about that. This is one thing that kind of happens in all of them, where she talks about, oh, you're leaving in a month, and we get like a slight change from how it was. This was all fans, which, by the way, the version I saw of this was actually available. You can actually watch this OVA on YouTube, so I'll leave a link to that down in the description box below if you guys want to check out the OVA on YouTube, which is, it has subtitles, but they're like the closed captions from there, but yeah, subtitles pretty good. Anyway, so as I was saying, we all just sit there. So after she hands Akira the chocolate, she then looks at him, I did my best, so I'm happy to give it to you. Anyway, so then right after that, she then does that gazing thing that she did in the game, and now we get to see from Akira's where she's just staring at him. Oh my God, she's blushing hardcore as always. It was just, oh my God, so cute. Now, one thing I also didn't really like with this OP is because throughout all of them, at least the first person's perspective ones, the only one he does talk when we get Ryuji's. Which I have something to say about when it comes to Ryuji's. Akira doesn't talk. But it's like that weird thing, like in some other animes, where like the characters hear something and they respond with, but Akira doesn't say anything himself. I'm assuming that's meant for you to say something instead. I don't know. I didn't really like. I kind of wish Akira did talk. But it maybe she's like, no, it's not about my glasses. I was just gazing at you. I thought you'd like it as a glasses comrade, which I am which I wear glasses, by the way, if you guys, you guys know. So I did enjoy it. Anyway, so after that, then she talks about, you're leaving in a month, yada yada yada. But we get like a slight change here from how it was in the dub, where she says, oh, you're staying month, even though you could stay with us with Ryuji and everything, with not Ryuji, with Sojiro and me. And then she says, what's more important, your hometown or me? Which is the exact same thing she said in the game. But here in the fan subs anyway, it says that I shouldn't say something like that. While in the game, she was like, nah, I would never say something like that. Which I kind of remember how it was in the dub and how it was here, because with the game, it's not like Futaba was legit just joking. Here, she was just, and I'm sure she still was, but this is just a minor nitpick on my part, but I definitely preferred how it was stated in the game. At least there, anyway. So anyway, after that, she then just falls on Akira's lap, and she says, "Oh my god, so cute." She's like, "Oh, we've made so many memories together." And then she extends her arms out. She's like, I want one final one." And then she struggles to say, "I love you. I love you too." And then she actually doesn't go in for the kill. Akira does. He leans in there a little bit, and then Futaba closes her eyes, and then they kiss. But this is from the first perspective, we don't really see it like that. And that's pretty much the end of Futaba's section of the OVA, which, oh my fucking god, was this awesome. I loved every second of it. I was smiling I was smiling a massive smile on my face throughout the whole thing. I loved every second of it. I honestly like this more than how it was in the game. And yeah, man, it was just fucking fantastic, man. I loved it. It was without a doubt fantastic, man. I loved it. Oh my god, Futaba is so fucking cute, man. Anyway, so let me quickly talk about some of the other. Let me quickly talk about the other ones I watched before I end this off. So I watched which actually Futaba was second one in the order. Which first off they start with which it was fine. I mean, they're going to Ferris wheels. It doesn't. It just hurts. She's like, it's a month. I honestly found it quite boring. It was fine, but. I also watched Hifumi's, which they were in an indoor pool, so you can see her in a bikini and everything, which was nice. And that one was pretty good. That one I relatively enjoyed. Makoto's was kind of like On's. It was a little bit better than On's, but not much better. They're in this location. I don't even know what it is, but they ended up with On and Makoto and Akira. They go over to this fence where they lock a lock on a fence. It was like, I guess, a symbol of their love or whatever. Anyway, and that's where her section ended with them kissing like the other ones. What other ones did I watch? Ryuji's one was there, which I'm assuming this is the option where you go. This is the one you get when you don't romance any of the girls. But this one was weird. For one, this was shot and done a lot like the main anime with third person. You can see Akira and he actually talks in this one. But the weird thing is that Ryuji hands Akira chocolate, and from there he like, thank you and everything. And then it's like, and then Akira says sarcastic, "Oh, so are you my Valentine? So am I your Valentine?" Here, and then Ryuji's it's like, wait, no, it's just like friendly chocolate. And they go all like, man, why can't the girls give us any chocolates? Ryuji beat himself, But then it ends the weirdest way, and I also did not like the way it ended. Because, we see Akira and Ryuji go up to Akira's room. The lights are purple for some reason, and then we see them come close to each other. Now, Grant, from the way it looked, it could have very easily have been just, Ryuji bringing Akira in there, putting his hand over his neck and pulling him in, But the way it also could have very easily looked like some yaoi shit was going down there. And I didn't like that because I don't like that they're giving these yaoi fangirls any ammunition. I don't like that shit, man. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, I didn't like that one. I just thought that was kind of weird. It was funny with Ryuji and everything, but wasn't a fan at it. I also watched Kawakami's. Hers was pretty good, but they're inside Kira's room. And, she actually is like, it's been a while since I've been here and clean. She does her little maid thing, meow, meow, pretty funny. I'm not, in case you guys are wondering, if you want to know who I think is the most attractive female in P5A, it's definitely Kawakami. I'm not into maids, but, I'm not into maids if you're wondering. I'm not into that whole maid thing, man. Like if I legit went to a maid cafe, I would legit try not to cringe. It would be the hardest try not to cringe challenge in my life, because, I'm not into that whole thing. But I just love everything else about Kawakami. I mean, I don't mind the maid shit, but it's definitely not the main reason why I love Kawakami. It's, whatever. Anyway, hers was pretty fun, they got that. She has Akira on his lap before they kiss. And, then we also had the harem option. Oh my god, I love what they did with the harem. First off, I gotta say, fuck Akira, man. If you win this harem option, fuck you, because you motherfuckers made Futaba cry. How dare you, motherfuckers. Anyway, so it plays out pretty much the exact same as the game, but it's all first-person perspective POV with Akira. So you see all the girls handing him each other, all pissed off and everything. It's fantastic. I love that they did this, and the dialogues and everything else is about the same as it was in the game with the kid with Sojiro coming in there for the same. Be like, all right, I had to make up this whole web of lies. Just make sure your story is dead. And he also hands him a piece of chocolate as well. So that was fun. And then the end credits is just all the girls walking away from LeBlanc with the credits roll. But the interesting part was the end of it was actually we actually see Sai. Sai actually got in on the action too, which I thought that was actually pretty interesting, because correct me if I'm wrong, you cannot romance her in the game. But for hers, they actually go to this opera, and you get to see Akira in a suit. I legit thought this, when I saw Akira suit, I thought they were going to go with like some weird reverse butler, with like some butler thing, and the POV is just some fangirl, and you get to see all the dudes in butler outfits. That's what I thought it was going to be, but then when I actually see Sai, I was like, oh shit, Sai's getting on the action. So they go to the opera, they go over to this club area, she's drinking some wine. We actually don't see Sai and Akira kiss. Instead, it just ends with just them holding hands in the reflection in Akira's glasses. So that was pretty interesting. That was a nice one. But also, yeah, I will definitely say this OVA was awesome. You get what you came for. You get to see the girls, interacting with you. I did like the first person POV. I thought that was a nice little touch there from Cloverworks. And, this OVA was awesome, man. I loved it. Odds was definitely the weakest from the ones I watched, just because, nothing really happened. Just, it's got a basic. Same thing with Makoto, but Makoto, I think, was a little bit better on, I'm sure my man Eli Moore will love it, because he loves On. That's best girl for him. So I'm sure he'll love it with the Ferris wheel and everything. With Jesse, there's this one part where On comes over Akira. I legit thought she was about to give us a blowjob, man. Oh, speaking of which, I saw the ending of Takamiki's. Woman gets all over you. She just comes right on top of Akira and says, "I won't take no for an answer." That's when they end. That's where it ends. Man, that woman doesn't fuck around, man. So that's about it. Everything. One last thing I want to end this off with you guys. I mentioned earlier on that I prefer Erica as an English. Prefer Erica's voice. Prefer Erica over the Japanese voice for Futaba. Let me talk about why. So I mentioned this before in other videos, and I'm going to get personal with y'all. I mentioned in other videos how much you guys know I love Futaba. I love her so much. Most of it comes from her personality, how much I can relate to her, because we're both socially awkward. I'm nowhere near as bad as she is, but I relate. We're also both massive nerds. But one thing I found out recently, as I saw this interview Erica did, I forget the channel, is that she said because she had such limited knowledge stuff to work with, because Futaba wasn't even announced to be in the game when she was recording her lines, that she kind of thought about why would she act like this? Why would she act like this? And she ended up portraying her as if she was on the autism spectrum, which, fun fact about me, guys, I've actually been diagnosed with Asperger since I was 6 to 7 years old. So when I found that out, it just made me love Futaba that much more, because that's when I realized that's why I can relate so much to her, for that very reason, because we're both autistic. And I love that fact, and it just made me love Futaba even more than I already did, as well as just made me love Erica more as a voice actress for giving, I guess, representation to us autistic folk. I've never been one for representation, but hey, having that Futaba being such an amazing character already, and just having that little cherry on top to her, I thought was fantastic, and it just made me love her even more than I already did. So yeah, quick little fun fact about your boy. He's autistic. Literally. Anyway, guys, holy shit, this review ended up being 20 minutes. I did not expect it to be that long. Anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. And overall, of course, I give this OVA a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, if you like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
Body.